Alright, here are the answer key for last week's assignments number 1 and number 2, practice problems with demand and practice problems with supply. So you can take a look and see how you did. Remember, we're looking to decide if there's going to be a change in demand or a shift in the demand curve depending on the scenario that was given. The price of gasoline falls. What impact is that going to have on large SUVs? I've got demand curve shifting to the right. This would have to be with the price of a complement decreasing. We're going to see an increase in demand or a shift to the right. Makes sense if gas gets a little bit cheaper. Large SUVs, not quite as fuel efficient. There's a little bit more of an incentive to buy a less efficient vehicle if gas prices are falling. For letter B, the price of gasoline falls. How will that impact the demand for gas? We're just going to buy more. The demand curve isn't going to shift. We're just going to move along the demand curve from point A to point B here. And as you can see, it's going to push the quantity out. So it's going to be movement along the demand curve. But remember, if it's a price change, that will never shift the curve. So here it's price of gas, gallon of gas, and the market is also gas. So that is never going to result in a shift of the curve. For letter C, if consumer incomes rise, how will that impact the demand for new vehicles? Demand curve is going to shift to the right. Common sense, income goes up, demand for normal goods goes up. If the coronavirus pandemic hits the United States, how will that impact the market for hand sanitizer? We've seen this happen. The demand curve is going to shift out to the right. This is based on our expectations of the future and also probably our attitudes. So changing consumer expectations and attitudes is going to shift the demand curve to the right. If our governor issues a stay-at-home order, what will the impact be on Netflix subscriptions? I have demand shifting to the right. This is going to be a change in the market size. You have a lot more people who are at home with not a lot of options of other things that they can do or go. You just got more buyers in the market. So you got demand shifting to the right. Letter E, unemployment rate increases. What's going to be the impact on Disneyland passes? Got demand curve shifting to the left for that one. Again, this is change in consumer income as well as probably expectations of the future. As unemployment rate increases, meaning more people are without a job, no job, no income. So any negative impact on income, we're going to see a decrease in demand for normal goods. So be demand shifting to the left. For letter F, tax added on imported wine. What would be the impact of demand on the American-made wine? It's going to be a demand shift to the right. This is going to be a price of a substitute. Imported wine coming from other countries like France, is going to be a substitute for American-made wine. And if there's a tax added to import wine, it's going to make it more expensive, less attractive to consumers. So we'll see an increase in the price of a substitute. If you can think about when it comes to substitutes, there's going to be a direct correlation between the price of one and the demand for the other. So if the price of the substitute goes up, demand for that good is also going to move in that same direction. Letter G, cream cheese experiences an increase in price. What will be the demand on bagels? We're going to assume that these are complements, again, goods that you consume together. So if cream cheese experiences an increase in price, we're going to see demand for bagels shift to the left. And here these move in an inverse relationship. As the price of the complement goes up, we're going to see demand for that good, in this case bagels, go down or shift to the left. And last one for demand. New study reports that Starbucks green tea is good for your health and immune system. That's going to be a demand shift to the right. Change in consumer attitudes based on that new study and report. So there's the demand ones. Let's look at the supply ones real quick here. With supply, remember the supply shifters. Pull those up. Any change in the cost of production, anything that's going to increase costs is going to shift supply to the left. Anything that decreases costs will shift the supply to the right. Other supply shifters, increasing in technology and innovation, prices of goods that are related, and specifically they have to be related in production, meaning you can produce something that's relatively close. You have options. When it comes to agriculture, you can produce corn or soybeans. Those goods are related in production. The number of sellers, government tools, natural events, and also expectations of the seller. So these are the supply shifters we are going to be looking for as we go through the assignment. So here, first one, an increase in the price of hay. And this hay is used to feed cattle. What's going to be the impact in the beef market? Well, we've got input prices rising. Hay is an input, right? Need to feed the cattle hay. We're going to see a decrease in the supply of beef because it's now more expensive. So shift that curve to the left. Letter B, Medtronic is purchasing new equipment to produce ventilators 2 times faster. So we have an increase in technology and kind of an investment in capital, but more technology, we're more efficient. Supply curve is going to shift to the right. C, the government has decreased taxes on cattle ranchers. Decrease in taxes is going to make things cheaper. So anytime it's cheaper to supply, cheaper to produce, that supply curve will shift to the right. So we got government tools, it's cheaper to produce. Coronavirus pandemic hits the United States. What will be the impact on hand sanitizer? We already saw what would be with demand, and likely seller expectations are going to change as well, and probably are going to shift production from other similar or possibly related goods, and see that supply curve shift out to the right based on their expectations of the future. And I also have here new firms are entering the market. There's a lot of firms that produce other goods that are close. See a lot of distilleries have stopped producing alcohol, and they've switched their production over now to produce hand sanitizer because they know the demand is there, and the price that they're willing to or the price consumers are willing to pay for it is higher than normal based on the event that we're living through right now. So based on that, I've got supply to the right. D, governor issues a stay-at-home order and closes all bars and restaurants. What would be the impact on Netflix subscriptions? Maybe not the best question. I kind of reread this after I did it, but what I was thinking was we would see, or Netflix understanding its expectations being that there's going to be many more people at home, might be an incentive to release new seasons, new content, those sort of things. So I had supply shifting to the right based on their expectations. There's going to be more people maybe in the market to decide between Netflix or Disney Plus or Hulu or the other options that are out there. Letter E, if your unemployment rate increases, what is going to be the impact on the market for service job laborers? This is going to be a supply curve shift to the right. Now think about who is the demand and who represents the supply curve. Right, the supply curve are your laborers. And if these individuals are all being laid off, you're obviously going to see a larger supply of them available. So an increase in the market size or the number of sellers. You just have a lot more people who now are out looking for a job. Letter F, steel prices rise by 20% due to tariffs. What will this impact American-made automobiles? This will be government tools, and this is going to increase cost of production. So if there's a 20% tariff on steel, more expensive to produce, that supply curve shifting to the left. The government offers a subsidy to firms who produce surgical face masks. Again, government tools making it cheaper to produce, so cost to produce going down. It's going to shift the supply curve out to the right. And if there's an unexpected drought that kills off much of the Midwest corn crop, this would be a natural event that decreases the supply at every price level. Due to the natural event, there's just not as much corn. The yields just aren't as high. So supply curve shifting to the left. All right.